Okay. Now that I've sat here and talked to an empty screen for 20 minutes, thinking I was live, start all over. How's everybody doing tonight? Getting close to Halloween. I want y'all to come on here and tell me if you celebrate it or not. Do you decorate for it? I can't reach over. Happy Anna Marie. Jump up. Let me get there.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
All right. Good
Good.
to see you. I'll give
Too
you a sneak peek. Just a second. I was messing with my volume. Ta-da! Bedhead. You can't tell. It blends in with the dark.
Bedhead.
Yeah, I just crawled in bed. I
Oh
picked up
no.
the phone and saw you come on. I was like, oh, I can talk with Bonnie for a while.
You were going to bed?
Well, just getting comfortable. I had, instead of making a regular supper tonight, I made eggs and sausage links and
I love breakfast for supper.
hash browns and toast. And
Yep.
I have been starting to have issues when I eat eggs with a little bit of cramping, and I'm like, I might need to just stay away from them now. So I
Yes.
stretched out in bed because I was having some crampage, and yeah, not too cool.
It. I'm sorry. I know how that feels.
Yeah, I don't normally have issues with much of anything, but I was like, things just aren't the same as the old homegrown stuff, the chickens, the pork, and everything else. Just it doesn't have the same flavor. I've, I have bought like split a cow with people before, and when I had a bigger freezer, and yeah, the beef is so much better than what you get from the store.
Yes. So, does it make a difference if you get uh, homegrown eggs?
Robert,
Robert.
hi.
Yeah, what's up?
Missed you, dude.
I had to take a minute. Had to take a minute. What's up?
Missed you, dude.
Whoops.
Stuff gets too crazy for me. I can't take it.
Yeah, gotta do that now and then.
Uh, Liz grounded me.
Grounded you.
Yeah, she helped me. The future's better than what it appears, right? As I guess I could say. Yeah, I could say that much.
Oh, okay. So
Uh,
you were like me yesterday.
Dude, no, I've seen so much craziness last night and yesterday. I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it last night. That's why I was gone. I was gone. No, gone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I understand, Robert. It
Yep. My frustrations kept me off a few places too and I might check in. Then I was just like, I don't want to deal with this.
No, I don't even know how to explain it, man. You see things over here and you see things over here. Then what's in front of you, you're supposed to say, "Hey, hi, what's up?" No, it doesn't happen that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't freaking do that. I try, man. I can't do that. I can't do. That's giving up the wrong energy. You know, you should be
Yeah.
trying to put out good energy and solid energy. Not. I can't throw out half-ass energy. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Well, I probably wasn't putting out too good energy yesterday. It started on our neck of the woods, and then I was like, okay, I need to do it live and apologize for all that.
I texted them. They're supposed to come over this way. They're supposed to be heading this way.
I don't think that apologies were necessary. I think that, it was okay until that you wanted to express that you didn't feel comfortable with that happening in the way that and manner that it did. But I would like to say that if I were in the same position as having a stream and you came forward with what was going on with you, I would feel so good about the fact that you came to be with me and felt that I could be supportive to you and be a listening ear and that willingness to share that. I mean, Heather and Jeff are just so amazing and they give that kind of platform and it was a togetherness and everything, and
Yeah,
the points of view, although some different in different ways, the um, support was there for what you were going through because we all felt for you. We all care
yeah.
about you and love you. So that was awesome.
Well, I love all of y'all too. I know, and I've seen Heather break, and I jumped up there and I'm hugging you.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what that's what makes this great is we're all here for each other. Hello,
I just
Heather.
looked over and noticed they're here. Hi, I was talking about you.
Oh, you know what can happen? No. Oh my god.
Robert, are you
I'm
reading chat?
huh?
Are you reading chat?
No.
I didn't even think of it.
Happy's in there, and he said hello to you, and then he said, when your good energy generator is facing a flood of negative energy coming in, pull the plug and head to higher ground.
Heck yeah.
That's what I did.
Hi,
Hey,
Pappy.
and Pappy, you can't hide. I seen you do the same. Don't we're we're walking the same path.
Yep.
Gets too muddy. Got to step off for a minute.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
What stinks about mine though is when I open up my phone, uh, that's where the news somehow there's a news feed that it'll show me local and world news on my uh, drop down because I'll go to see who's live or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like, or then if I go to do something on my computer, when you pull up a new tab, there's all the news. And you can't help but look at it. It's like, All right, what's going on? But yeah,
See, like me, man, I'm surrounded with goodness, so I don't. You know what I mean? I don't want to look over there or here for stuff. You know, you know what I mean. Look at you. Look at your life. You got more on your plate than I do, and Anna does. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Can't you? You can't get distracted with this crap, man. I'm telling you.
Well,
You know good wins. You know that, right? People
yeah,
say it's a movie. Well, the good guys are gonna win.
that's what they say, but I
Yeah,
haven't met my knight in shining armor yet.
just
Oh,
just just hold it to your heart and
there he is.
and think,
Bad
right?
luck.
All right, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Clear as you ever been.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we were saying hello to everybody and glad to see you, Robert. And
Oh, wow. All I saw was that it looked like y'all were muted.
yeah, we were responding with you.
Uh-huh.
Gotta take a minute to get away for a minute, and we were worried about you for a second. Kind of. The last I texted him, he asked if we had watched the mod video, and then I responded to him the
Which
next
was
day,
excellent, by the way.
letting him know how awesome it was, and I figured I'd get something back right away, but it was nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm like,
I walk away
It's
from that
okay.
phone. Man. Put that phone down and I don't look at it.
that's cool, and I understand. I do. I get it.
Like
That's
Pappy just said, sometimes you got to step out.
Yeah,
Last
absolutely.
night was like, I don't know. I don't even know what I was watching. I really don't.
Well, yesterday. It was just like, and that's what I said. I just feel like this heaviness, just like it was just.
And how do you say it?
Yeah,
Like
the
I said,
energy was good yesterday.
I can't give out fake partial love. It's got to be real,
Yeah.
That's what some people don't understand. When I call you my brother, I mean it. I don't mean. I see people saying this crap all day long, and it don't mean shit to them. I feel sorry for them people
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
because now I got my Corline's down there talking to seeing the grandkid and shit. And she's like, "Where's my uncles? Where's my uncles?" Ah,
Excuse me.
them ain't your uncles, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your deceased poppy's friends. They're not your uncles. I think that's the new generation thing, man. That ain't cool with me.
Yes. And I can understand that. I remember having to call people uncles that were not, and uh, they were evil. They were not good people.
Yeah, they weren't just they're just people. They ain't nobody special.
Yeah.
You only have one uncle. Well, two. Wait. Yeah, two. Good. That's why I didn't know what to say to her when she said, "Can I call you Grandpa Bob?" Right? I was like, "Whoa!" Right?
Oh,
That's up to you.
yeah.
I didn't even know what to say.
Well, we were just worried about you because you weren't answering any of us.
I went to the woods and I just freaking wiped out.
We were just worried about you.
Hey, it's like you said. Sometimes once it just kind of get bottles up, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay,
Yeah,
Hi,
gotta walk
Pappy.
away from
gotta walk it off.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
That's it. It's like backing out.
Little bitty bit.
We are.
No,
No.
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
no, you sound like you're behind a tree.
We don't even hear him.
We're gonna need to refresh.
Yeah, we'll need to refresh.
You're okay. It's him.
No, we didn't even know he came up.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't even. Yeah, it's just the way our thing is.
Aw.
We don't.
You guys sound good though.
I'm glad.
I should not lean on that one.
I can't take a fall like I used to.
Oh, man. If I fail, I'm afraid it would just kill me.
yeah.
Break.
I had to chill for a minute. I tell you. Edge got in the way, and I don't know what I did. Stepped on my shoelace or something, man. I went down.
I'm surprised I can handle a fall as well as I do. I've gone with. I walked into my brother's. This was a year ago. I walked into my brother's, and the floor was all wet, and my feet went straight up in the air, and I landed flat on my back.
Oh man.
And I was like, whoa. I mean, for a second, I was like, am I okay? Oh, am I okay? I was afraid to breathe. I was like, I hope I didn't break my ribs or something, you know?
Oh, man.
And I was just like, that should have hurt a lot more than that. What? You know, it was like the shock of it and kind of the whew of letting the air out. And
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm in one piece. I'm okay. I think I can roll over. Okay. So I roll over and I'm like, it hurts worse to get on my knees to get out of this position.
Was it a
I'm like,
scene?
I'm okay. I'm okay. My brother comes running. He's like, what was that? And it's a really old house, you know. He's like, I said, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I heard a boom. And he goes, me too. What was it? What was it? And I said, I just wiped out on your floor. I'm okay.
So it wasn't cement.
Hi again.
It's funny, you know, we get older, gravity pulls harder, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to fall
Hey.
down on blacktop. No, I don't want to do that. I can handle the dirt though in the ground, and outside in the woods I handle it.
Yeah, a little softer. Yeah, that
What?
forest.
What was
forest
that?
floor.
Did you guys hear that?
What's that?
Yeah, that high pitch.
Yeah, it was like a.
Yeah, I heard it.
Is that outside your house?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't know what the hell that was.
Cool.
Sasquatch
If I had a
is screaming.
teleporter, I'd be there in a heartbeat. Come visit
Ta,
you
ta,
in
ta.
Watchport.
I told you. You guys witnessed it this time. I'm not bullshitting you, man.
I'm ready to be there.
Did you ever hear? What do you guys think that was? Pappy, what was that?
Oh, Pappy fell out.
Oh, he fell
Lost
off.
Pappy.
I
So
don't
was
know
it
what
really
it was, but
loud
I'll
by you, Robert?
come there and listen. Come
What?
on, Pappy.
Was it
You
real?
can make it.
Was it loud?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I went like this. I couldn't. It was so loud. I didn't know which direction it was coming from.
Holy
And
cow.
then it sounded like a owl after.
He said it's raining there. Pappy, did you hear that noise at Roberts? It was. I don't know if he heard it or not.
Wow.
It just
You
showed
guys
some low
did.
touch.
Cool. I love when there's a witness. There you go. That's one of the weird noises. I don't know what that is. I have no clue.
I can't do it.
Barn owls here and
Yeah,
wood owls.
It's high pitched.
Yeah, it was. I only got about 5 coyotes.
How far are you
with
from
a
the
dog.
ocean?
Did you see my text, Bunny? I went to the gas station.
Yes.
God,
How much?
coming home, oh, man, it was like 3, 4 old people gathered around the flashlight. I freaking looking the road, man. Their dog was, I almost ran over their dog.
Oh no.
Yeah, very close, man. Yeah, they put the flashlight on it just in time. So,
How far are you from the
oh
coast,
man,
Robert?
6 miles, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crooked.
6
The road's
miles?
well, maybe 5 or 4, but the road's real crooked around the redwoods.
I thought you had said you were quite a ways from the ocean. I
Yeah.
thought somebody asked you that
Uh-uh.
when that cyclone thing was coming. Or,
I'm I'm 3 ridges away from the ocean, 3 or 4.
oh, okay.
They're like little ridges. Like one of them makes your ear pop, so I know we're at least 800. That one's 800.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I go to town, so
You
we're up a
call them
little bit,
ridges.
up three ridges away. So then the river's down here. It'll stop anything. Yeah, it could. Unless 1,000 footer, right? I don't know. Who knows? I don't worry about it. I'm ready.
You ready for what?
Whatever.
California to fall off the map.
Yeah, whatever the great one wants, man.
I hope not your portion.
I'm just here for the ride.
Well, you know where you're going after.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, you know what? Remember I told you a story about the Corlin's mother with that dementia stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff and Heather are like this. She never studied this stuff. You figure that one. You figure that out.
Who?
Portland's mom.
Yeah.
Wow.
She talked about the fade and about the Sky Council and
Really?
coming back and seeing people there. What you say? Corlin said, "Did you see Grandpa while you're there?" She says, "No, he's further down in the fade." It was weird, man.
In the face?
In the fade.
Fade.
Instead of the veil.
I've heard it called that before.
She
I've
said
heard it called the
fade. I was in the fade. Like, wow.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So do any of y'all celebrate Halloween?
Not anymore.
As a harvest festival, because originally it was not a satanic festival, and I refuse to let it be that.
Right.
And see, I just had
Y'all
Halloween.
know how I feel about reclaiming.
Yeah.
Well, if we were having a harvest festival, that would be different. But
Oh,
since it's being called that and celebrated like that around here, I don't take any
Do you
part
know
in
what
it.
the meaning of all? You know what the meaning of the different things for Halloween are? Maybe I can set your mind at ease with a little bit of knowledge.
Well, I just don't, because I don't have grandkids that'll come
Little
here.
one.
I don't give out treats to the neighbor kids. I won't dress up for it or party or nothing like that like I used to. I mean, the satanic part of it and everything, I know about that. But then I also know about the fact that this is normally harvest time and people celebrating the harvest and getting together and, you know, canning, trading, and everything else, you know.
and you know what? I think putting pumpkins on your porch wasn't to scare people. To put a
No.
candle in it.
Do you want to know what all that is about? The costumes and the jack-o'-lanterns? Would you like to know?
Well, I thought it was a
Sure.
harvest time, and if you had extra pumpkins and stuff, you put them on your porch and your corn and stuff, and the neighbors would help themselves because you had a good harvest.
Yeah, that was part of it. That was part of it.
But not
And
no
then
more.
the jack-o'-lanterns were carved turnips, and they would put a light in them, and the light was to light the way for strangers out on the darkest night and to chase away bad spirits. It was a protection measure. And so were the costumes. Originally, the costumes were so if you were out on that night, which used to be known as Mischief Night, that you wore costumes. So if there were any bad spirits out and about, they wouldn't be able to recognize you and follow you home. That's that's where the costumes started.
All right, here we go.
Wow.
Because this is the time of year when the veil is the thinnest.
Right.
That's what the people believe. And that is how they treated this night.
That's what Pappy was saying the other night. That it's
I've heard so many versions of it, you know.
And then and then religion got a hold of it and turned it into something satanic. And then marketing got a hold of it and turned it into something to make money on. And nobody
just like they do Christmas.
understands the original meaning of it, and nobody has bothered to look. Well, I can't say nobody because, of course, Pappy, I have. Several people know the original meaning behind it, but no, you know, people aren't sharing those things. And if you try to tell certain people that this is what these things originally represented, they don't want to hear it because it doesn't fit with the story that they think they know, and they don't want to hear a new story.
Okay, Pappy.
They feel justified in condemning.
Well, it things,
You know?
I imagine too, gradually just didn't get passed down any longer. You know, as things change, things fade out, and people lose tradition.
Yeah. And well, the 20 minutes before I remembered to hit the live button, thanks to Shane, and I was sitting here talking to my screen. I was, of course, Laura is going to take Athea around, but my kids do it like I did it. Only people that I absolutely knew forever and trusted would we go to their houses. And then our volunteer fire department, we've always put on a big, we have tables lined up out there, just tons of candy. And we do a big dinner. Everybody brings a dish. And for all the first responders and their families. So it was like, it was really good.
Yeah, it seems just like a harvest festival.
Yeah, but they would dress in costumes however they wanted. It wasn't a particular, like, just scarecrows or something like that. It was people dressed however they wanted. But it was our fire department is in a subdivision that's the only place where people will even go trick-or-treating anymore is in that subdivision. And so they just make a loop around there, and they'll have trucks with big old trailers just full of people and their kids, and the line moves very slowly. But I don't know. It's a whole lot different than when I was a kid. But yeah, I went through that with my 4 older kids. I was like, you cannot go trick-or-treating. It's evil. And so we would go to the church and we would have like a harvest festival. We had booths set up and they would play games and they would get different things like popcorn, a bag of popcorn and popcorn balls and stuff like that. Trying not to give them too much candy, but they got some candy too.
Well, if it was referred to, as Pappy was saying, sometimes referred to as the Night of Old Souls, where you give thanks to the ancestors before you. I could kind of see why Bad would want to counteract
Take that away from you?
Yep. Yep.
And how do
Turn
they
it
take
into
away the
something
beautiful
different.
stuff? They make it ugly.
Yep.
Or make you think it is.
That's cool. I'll be right back. Gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay. Oops.
But that's what I mean. It's our job to look beyond what they've told us, right?
Right.
And to stop
Right.
accepting what they've told us because they've lied to us about so many things that now everything should be in question.
Yeah.
You know what? And I was sitting here thinking, you know, I used to think this way a lot, is that only I can give the people that are the influencers and trying to control things the power over me of my emotions and things like that. I can change my attitude. I can turn some of my feelings around by mentally putting myself in a different state, by thinking differently and telling myself positive things in my mind. But sometimes I get so caught up in the moment. Like, you know, yesterday, the thing about the people coming across the border, and the day before getting bawled out by my daughter, stop, you're a conspiracy theorist, mom. Stop telling me these things. I already got the, you know what, months ago. And just to be suddenly devastated with that slap in the face of how I was really lifting her up and being encouraging to her, and for being so strong as to be a nurse and not have gotten it. And then the reality that this is what she thinks, and she's lied to me this far along and let me believe and say
Yeah.
all these things to her, to just finally blow up at me and say, stop. I've lied to you this whole time.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
I'm
Uh,
sorry that happened to you, hon.
the next day, I was just filled with, I mean, I spent the whole night crying. And then the next day, this stuff about the people coming over the borders, and the realization just slapping me right in the head so hard, um, that these people are really trying to hurt people.
Yeah.
No, that's the last family member besides um, my grandkids. I don't know if they've gotten it. I have 4 grandkids, but they've been excluded from my life because of their mom, right? She
Yeah.
she's like, "You have the Trump flag, oh, excuse me, out on your porch. How are you gonna explain that to my kids? How do you explain that to me?" And I'm like, "What's to explain?"
Right?
I said, "I voted for this person, and I still hope he's coming back. I don't feel that things were done right, and I think that that's going to come out." I don't want to say too much, you know, obviously because of shadow banning or whatever here, but um,
Not too worried.
it all came to just a head yesterday, to the point where I could just totally feel the frustration. I was already all pent up with this bitterness and looking to get into that good positive with hanging out, you know,
Yeah.
on the channels and stuff like that. And I was noticing that negative was kind of interjecting in that. And throughout the day, I kind of went to a few different spots, and I'm seeing this anger and bitterness going on,
Over and
and
over.
attacks going on in the chats. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
we are really having a spiritual battle right now.
Yes.
We, oh, this is something, you know, because I can usually overcome logic things out. I can usually get from a down point to a good point pretty fast. it wasn't going there.
Apparently, it got really bad at Travis last night too. And
Yeah, I hopped over there and just happened to be stepping in towards the end of that just to see what was up over there. And
yeah,
well, all I have to say about that is some people just allow it to happen, even though he was having technical difficulties or whatever. I don't understand the other end of that, but
I
yeah,
have no
some
clue what went
people.
on. I just, from what
I
chatter,
I could say a lot of things, and I could have said a lot of things in chat, but my recommendation and my thoughts going to be as much as I can possibly do. I am no longer going to interact in negativity in a chat because I think the best way that a person can possibly um, combat that
yes,
is by not acknowledging it, not commenting back to it, pretending it's not there. Because if you do
Don't
not
feed
give
it;
them the
it can't
power of
grow.
response,
No,
it's not working.
it was growing all right.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And I love Travis. I have met him. He is a sweetheart. He's got a heart of gold. He really does.
He couldn't
But
get into his own program. He was disconnected with it when it was going on. He was trying to get back into his own show, and it was all
but
happening.
I can say that, and then I can say I also don't go visit him anymore in the evenings because it's a lot of drama, and I choose
Uh-huh.
not to expose myself to that because it feels like it contaminates my energy.
yeah,
I don't
Exactly.
like it. I don't like it. It doesn't
Exactly.
set well with me.
yeah. I've tried a couple of times, and I just said, no, this isn't the place for me.
There's a couple people that I pray for that are in the chat that I see on there, and a few people that I see hang out there that go back and forth that, you kind of you want to put the prayers out for them, and you see their responses to questions people are asking about them, and it's not that I'm trying to be snoopy, but you care and you'd like to send the prayers out, so once in a while you say hi in the chat or whatever. But um I think last night I was there more to observe the psychology and the psychodrama that was going on, and psycho mentality that was going on with some of the people, where I'm just kind of reading the personalities, and I'm not mentioning names, but I'm gonna say they present themselves in a different light than they are in different places.
Yes, I already knew
Yes.
that. Hypocrites.
Exactly.
I've seen that.
And
A lot.
in particularly someone that's becoming, and I'm just going to say it right out, weaseling their way into places, has come right out and said certain things in chat that go against everything else they say, that makes them totally freaking two-faced and one-sided. If you don't believe what I believe, I don't stand with you, is exactly what that person said in different words.
Yes.
And they're holding that person up and telling them they love that person when that person goes against everything that they're about.
Yep. I'm going to
So
read
much.
these comments that Pappy's saying since he's not up here to speak. Those that weren't careful left the doorway open and negative things came through at times. That was the invitation for other negative things to take control off that time of year and corrupt it. Remember, the negative ones have made this the power time of the year. That is why we feel it so strongly. Many are affected by it and don't even realize they are being used. It is a spiritual drug, just like fentanyl.
Shapeshifters.
Wow.
Anna Marie Kimball, this is the time of the shapeshifters. Many are not who they portray.
Yep. So, you know, it was just, I didn't even really put any negative comments or anything like that. I don't think I ever even put a comment in at all. I just sat back listening and observing, which is something I've done all my life in places, you know,
Yeah.
I do that a
and,
lot too.
yeah. And I
Let's
just
see.
like, wow, I don't need this mass confusion, and this is not a healthy place for me to be, so I'm not doing it. Then I was out of there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you come to a point where you have to start doing that. You have to start being selective about what you are exposing your energy to. And I think we're there. We're at that point now, which is the head of the crossroads. We're right at the head of it, where people have to start using their spiritual discernment and really feeling with their spirit if they need to have that energy in their life or not. And I know for Jeff and I, we've pulled back a lot from a lot of places and a lot of people, and we've listened, and we'll be places and nobody will know we're there because we've just stopped talking and started listening. And when things aren't if they're not fueling our spirits in a healthy way, we leave. And it's nothing against the people personally, but that's
Yeah.
what we need at this point, at this stage in the game. You know, we already know that we have to keep our spiritual energy to that certain point that it's evolved to, so that we don't de-evolve, you know, into those lesser or lower vibration feelings, right?
Yeah.
Because right
Right.
now it really truly is about keeping your vibe high. And I know it's hard because they're throwing so many distractions at you, so many things to try and weigh you down. You can't carry those weights for them anymore, right?
Yeah.
We,
Yeah.
we,
And you know, like
we're
what
not
happened last
responsible for
night?
their luggage.
Yeah.
What's
And
that?
last night, one guy put a point of view in, and everybody just like ganged up, and there was a little bit of a misunderstanding, and the whole outcome became this big thing. This guy made a comment about something, and it didn't even, it was taken a little bit out of context and blown up into this big issue. And all these people are piling in and getting involved and calling each other this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, you know, if we were all sitting in a theater or in a room together in person instead of this baloney of doing this over the phone on a program or whatever, would we all be behaving like that? Or is it just
Exactly.
easier to behave rudely when you're not face to face and there's no, you're just, and they're coming in like a bunch of little hens. Oh, we got a
Yep.
pecking order here, but now you just got out of the pecking order and we're all going to jump on you now, you know?
Yeah. We made you.
Believe me, I know.
Right. No, you didn't. Oh, yeah.
The camps are
I
divided. Some are still trapped, but beyond our reach.
all three of you have been over there on our channel when we've been having the, what do you call them, Bonnie? Spiritual attacks? Spiritual
Yes.
abuse?
Yes.
Energy suckers.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been there. You've seen it
Yes.
without even having to say anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will be right back. I need to check on my granddaughter.
Okay.
I'm tired of water. I think I have rarely ever had a soda, but I think I'm having one.
Unreal.
Maybe.
I had it, but that just seems a little bitter right now. Anyhow, on other subjects, we had a bit of an overcast day. I'm thinking about getting outside and seeing if it's overcast, but I'll have to bundle up for it. Got a little chilly. I want to see if there's northern
It's
light.
been misting us all day long, and it's just enough that we have a terrible, terrible signal. And we we had to keep reloading. And then this morning I went on LWN Outdoors with Mike for a little bit, and my chat wouldn't load and my screen was froze the whole time, but I could hear the conversation.
Wow.
So I kept popping my camera on and off, trying to get everybody else to unfreeze on me.
I missed it this morning.
I enjoyed the outdoor show.
I do too.
Plus, he called me out by name, so I kind of felt a little bit like, you know, I've always tried to be helpful to him in that manner. So he said, "Where's
Happy.
Heather? Heather always has something to talk about." So I did my best.
Pappy said we are at the time when the lines of division have been pretty well drawn. The camps are divided. Some are still trapped, but beyond our reach now. They must cross the line to seek our help.
Sad, but very true, I do believe.
I would suggest that this is a good time to limit your chat to no subscribers, to limit. I can't see it right now.
Limit exposure to the negative plague around us.
Good idea.
Yeah.
How do I
see
do
that some people have it where only subscribers can, for a certain amount of time, can come into the chat too.
And I
Yeah,
don't know
but
how to
I'm
do that.
not gonna. I can't charge. We couldn't do that anyway. I mean, we couldn't do that anyway.
Oh, is that based on a dollar amount? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that subscriber thing is like with all part of that monetization thing that they do.
Oh, I guess I haven't paid that much attention to know that.
Well, just have to ask the mods to be extra careful with what's going on.
So, what do you want us to do?
Well, I mean, if
More
we're
likely
being
to be warriors?
attacked, let's stop the attack.
Okay.
I don't really want to be blocking people, but hide their comments by all means until they leave, and don't respond to them.
Okay.
If they're going to be that way, that's fine. But then they'll have to have a silent voice. I don't like to do that. I don't want to do that. But I really don't see a way around it because I'm not going to let people over in our channel keep getting bullied either. And I may have to remove a couple more wrenches and make it only people in our inner circle that I trust explicitly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might come down to yeah.
I did say to a certain person in that chat on yesterday, I think it was, watch your language.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I don't always
was
agree
kinda
with what people
surprised.
say either, but I'm not going to tell them they're wrong. That's their truth, not mine.
Yeah,
Just because they said it out loud doesn't mean I have to accept it. It just means that's their thing, and that's fine.
Oh, I was talking to somebody that had typed what I
Yeah, I know
considered.
who it was.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
We've got it all logged.
And that's just it. Sometimes
it's getting crazy, and I don't want to dwell on it because we in this most difficult time here, this is the darkness. This is what we're called for. This is to still be the light even in these darkest times, and it's going to be tough. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but we got to stay shining, you guys. I mean,
that's
even if we have to stop, take a day off, put the phones down, turn it off completely, turn off the computers, turn off all that, and just walk away for a day. Maybe we should all do that and recharge our batteries for the coming fight, because it's not going to be pretty and it's not going to be easy. And it's going to test the will of each one of us.
Yep.
Yes. And I don't watch this show. My granddaughter is like totally addicted to it. She will keep watching it over and over and over, and it's got a jillion seasons. The Walking Dead.
Oh,
Oh
But
my.
when you look at that and you think, you know, could it be that way where they are in there's there's different groups of people and they're just trying to make it in their own little
community.
communities.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then here comes this bully and tries to take it over and usually succeeds. So it's kind of like, are we going to get to that point? And
Definitely. Yep,
how are
we
we get
are.
how are we going to keep in touch? I mean, that's this group right here. I don't want to lose.
Understandable.
I'm afraid to say that's the mentality of survival, and there's always these ones that think that they have to be the ruler of the roost.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I'm seeing, that even in these communities there's going to be a bad one. there's
Yeah.
there's going to be conflict. There's going to be um
Other camps.
I
It's
love
going
you,
to be
Jessica. Thank you.
people are going to laugh at this, or they're just going to like stick their tongue out at me. But I think we're coming back to a time where the wise women are going to be prominent hearts of the communities, keeping them together, making them strong, strengthening their backbone, and giving them hope and lessons and learning. And I
Yeah.
see that time upon us now. And it's like history can repeat itself in bad ways, and it can repeat itself in good ways. We all know there's power in prayer, there's power in intention and thought. And so, once you get your battery recharged, keep keep your thoughts in line, right? Before you speak something out of your mouth, try to think, is it kind? Is it true? And is it necessary? Right? Because it can be true and not be kind. It can be true and not be necessary.
And I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I'm sure you have. A lot of times, um, when I'm on your channel, I'll talk really slow, but it's more. Um, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna say, but it's like it's nerves. What Jeff was saying on Liberty Warrior tonight, that you have to get uncomfortable. That's
Yeah.
a for real thing. And um, I sat here for 20 minutes talking to my computer before I realized I hadn't put the go live button on. Shane was in here and he said, "Who are you talking to?" And I'm like, "Oh, no." Myself.
I've done that so many times. Listen, too, right now is really important also is to be gentle with yourself. Don't be overcritical.
Yeah.
Because if you're beating yourself up, everybody else is going to have that same opportunity. And you and I both know that there are people out there that search for your weakness. And if you expose a weakness, they will exploit it and use it to hurt you just for the fun of hurting you. So, like, right now is the time for us to be kind to ourselves so that we can be kind to others, right?
Well, that's
So
true.
within, so without, as above, as below, the whole thing, that mirror image, we mirror that image. We mirror the image of the Creator. We are of the Creator.
Right.
So if we keep that in mind and try to speak from that place, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish I had the power of the creator right now. In me.
You have it more than you think, dear.
I know. And that's
Yes.
I get the prayer and everything, but I guess I feel like
It's the actions you take.
how much
not
further
your
can we be pushed? Uh, I don't know. I
Is
just
Pappy still with us?
Yeah, he was still putting comments in, I think. Joseph's here. He said he will protect Bon Bon.
Hey, Joseph. You better. You're down there by her. You're the first one there.
is he?
Yeah, I think he's down by you.
Joseph,
Isn't he?
where are you at?
I think he is.
No, that's right. He's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Is that what
Oh,
he is? Yes.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
closer
that's
to you than we are then. Joseph's in Pennsylvania. He's further south, right? Or further east?
he's east, man. Yeah,
He's east.
East Coast.
Yeah, he's the one that has the travel trailer, and I'm like, how?
Oh, no. Geography's
Oh,
never
that's
been my strong suit, honey.
Me,
All right.
me either.
Hey,
Especially all those when it starts getting little states up in there. I know
Oh,
where
yeah.
New
Right?
is.
There's 13 of them. That's all you need to know.
I used to be better at my geography. I just don't remember.
That's when we get to say, are we finally at the stage where we get to say, well, youngin', I've done forgot more than you've learned yet.
no.
Because
I could-
that's the stage I would like to get to. I'd just like to go ahead and be there already.
We could probably say
Yeah.
that.
I was gonna say I'm there.
So look,
All right,
Joseph
more than
is
you
closer
learned.
to you just because he has a Mustang GT and a heavy foot. So
Yeah,
he's
see.
automatically closer to you.
Yeah.
Mustang Sally.
All right, you guys ready?
Sure am.
Uh-oh.
These
You got a
massive
card?
creatures.
Yes, I drew a
Thank
card.
you.
Oh, you're the awesomest.
And Pappy, this is exactly what Pappy was saying.
Cool.
This is kind of what we're all going through right now.
Okay,
Sacred Jaguar, teach me to wear my power lightly, to walk with impeccability, to approach life with compassion, and to live up to the integrity of my human potential. Since the death of Sky God, the godlike being who had come from the stars and led the Maya to prosperity and a golden era of spiritual understanding, his teachings of love, integrity, impeccability, and the power of a compassionate heart had been perverted. The distortion of his Jaguar teachings had degenerated to where the priests were sacrificing human beings, foolishly cutting out the victims' hearts to reclaim the power of the golden days of the empire. Forgotten was the authentic power of the honorable and the loving heart in Sky God's teachings. The great Jaguar spirit, who was Sky God's totem, roamed the dreams of the Maya, looking for any dishonorable behavior, misdeeds, and abuses of power that had diminished the spirit of the Maya and needed to be sacrificed for the survival of the people. The priest who had abused the authority and the power bestowed on them quaked in fear, knowing that the day of reckoning had come. Jaguar brought justice by stalking their dreams and devouring their flagrantly dishonorable and greedy misdeeds. Jaguar medicine is integrity and impeccability. Its mission is to devour the unclean aspects of human behavior. Jaguar teaches us the penalties of inappropriate behavior and offers the rewards of good medicine to those who stand in their personal integrity and walk through life in an impeccable manner. If Jaguar is roaming your dream reality today, its primal roar may be rewarding you for the maintaining your integrity in some situations where you could have easily misused your authority. You may have been willing to pass judgment on another or to be self-serving. Were you especially kind to someone or do a good deed that was unexpected? If so, allow the recognition to fill you with feelings of well-being and continue to serve with compassion and open-hearted integrity. Do not falter in your resolve to be your personal best at all times. Maintain your dignity, devotion, and compassion, holding to forthrightness and honesty, no matter what the contrary influences. Do not feed any self-important need to be an enlightened one, treating others in a self-righteous manner. Jaguar medicine teaches you that personal integrity allows for mistakes, embraces forgiveness, and humbly makes self-directed corrections, allowing a rebalanced spirit to triumph once again. Perfect. Balance.
Yeah.
There's your balance again.
That was awesome.
Thank
So we're
you.
going
That's
through.
good.
That's good. That was a good one. I think it was the last. That's the last. That's the last in the book too.
Oh,
There.
Did you see what Pappy Two Bears said? Oh, Pappy, I love you.
yeah.
See, that card was at
Poof,
perfect.
it's gone.
That card had perfect timing. That's fine.
They usually do.
That is fine. We haven't done it in a while.
No.
It's weird.
So what
Just
y'all
know.
think?
It just knows.
What y'all think about Mike's birthday?
I didn't stick around long for it.
I think he's gonna. I think he'll be happy with it. But
Oh yeah.
I understand, Anna.
It was
Kind of loud.
low population. Yeah.
I figured I could go back and look at it later or something. I just
Yeah.
ended going off into doing some other research and stuff. And was over on Hops for a while with prayer and things like that. Sharing some Bible verses.
Was that everybody? Was everybody over there? There was only. Oh no, there's only like 600 over at Liberty's birthday.
Well, it started out a whole lot more.
Well, no, well, yeah, what? We got about 1,200. Yeah.
Yeah, and and I don't know what happened. But Mike was choked up when he came in, and all the happy birthdays, and that's good. I mean,
That's cool.
I'm glad that he felt good about it.
Pappy, I put out a few words of wisdom, sort of similar to what you just said. I even wrote it in a chat as wisdom. I said, when walking through the doggy park, be careful when you step on the leaves. There may be a surprise underneath that you did not want.
See, that used to be it's something like that about the pig pen. Um, I can't remember how it goes, but I remember a saying about the pig pen. Kind of like that.
Oh, thanks,
I
honey.
just remember having had a couple issues on my clothes a couple times as a kid, jumping in leaf piles.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. 2 minutes.
Um,
Outside.
Something else I was going to ask. Heather, you did do a good job on the outdoor channel today.
I did. I was just trying to help Mike out.
Well, that was good. I mean, it was
different.
because, but it still all joins together in the end. I mean,
Yo, that's what I always think too. Is that it all does come down together.
yeah.
Oh, baby.
I had a good day. I think.
You had a good day.
I
That's
think
good
so.
to hear.
I think so.
I did too. Babysitting my granddaughter and didn't go to my mom's.
I had a pretty laid back day myself. I got a little chihuahua that isn't feeling so great and hasn't been eating so good for about 4 days now, and a little bit worried about her, but she finally ate today.
That's good.
You know, when you don't have your kids around anymore, they kind of become your little children.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me. I can't even start a fire now. I get down, if I get, when I do weeding or anything like that, or picking blueberries, Ed's, he gets flashbacks when he's a puppy, when he used to sit in between my legs when I sat down. He still does that, and he has to do that. He's so crazy.
Oh my goodness, when I was with my ex-boyfriend, he got a dog. I had gone over to visit him after we broke up. We're still friends today. And he got himself a little dog, a little boxer puppy, and it was just in love with me, and I would spend so much time with it, and you know, as much as possible, because I didn't at that point have dogs, and I adore him. Well, this little turd, I couldn't go in the bathroom without him following me in there, and he would have to come and sit right between my legs. Well, oh, how many times it's like, little dude, you don't sit down there because, you know, I have to stand up and you're inside my pants legs, you know?
Oh no.
They just have to be so close sometimes.
Yep.
And my girlfriend's dog, it checked on me in the bathroom. Yeah, it's her dog, but I don't know. He talked to me. He checked. I don't know if it was 13 times or 23 times. I stayed in the bathroom just to see how many times he knocked the door open and check on me. It was a minimum of 13 times. I remember that for sure.
When my ex-husband and I built our house, it was so funny. He didn't put the bathroom door on. I'm like, you're in a house full of girls. Don't you think it's time we get a bathroom door?
Oh my
And you know, because we
That's
just
a lot
had
of work.
we were building the house and living in it too, you know.
Yeah,
And we just had a curtain. I said, I've been trying to teach the girls to knock, all right? But guess what? We have dogs. So if you haven't noticed, when I'm in the bathroom, I'm hardly ever in there alone. It's like a family activity when mom goes in the bathroom to do her hair or run a bath. Everybody's in there. 2 dogs, 2 daughters.
Am I the only
and a
one?
husband.
That's not hungry.
Where's mom? She had to go to the bathroom, and here comes
Okay,
the door
Mom.
15 times.
yeah.
Have a snack. Mom.
Can we please get a door?
What you doing, Mom?
My mom used to say,
I can't.
Mom
find
went to
mine.
China. She's not here anymore. That's what my mom would tell me.
It's funny. Now these days you start to miss some of those awkward moments, you know?
Yeah. You're right.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah, what's
Absolutely
life
right.
without a little bit of embarrassment?
Hey,
Full spectrum emotions, right?
Yeah.
I got a question. I had a lot of dogs, and I took a lot of dogs to the vet. But this vet here in Crescent City, he said Edge is the most strangest dog that they have there at the present. Is that strange?
Kind of.
I don't know what he does when I leave. You know what I mean? 'Cause
He just has his own personality. That's all.
I don't know what it. That's funny. I was like, what does that mean? You know?
He's cute as a
He's
bud, and
explained.
I think he's such a handsome pup.
Yeah.
He's just something, man. Unreal.
Well, like I told you, my Chiweenie, when I first got her, she'd do that dominating thing on and try to hump my leg, right? Well, with that long body, those short legs, the long tail, and the big ears, and being of similar color, he reminded me of a kangaroo. So I was like, look at the kangaroo hop, look at the kangaroo hop. And people would just laugh, you know? And she would do that to other people and they couldn't help it. They would just laugh. Well, now she's about as big around as a big bounty paper towel roll. Her belly almost touches the ground. So when we get snow, if she has to go, we really have to keep it shoveled because she's a low rider.
Yeah.
And the grass tickles her, so she can't find a spot unless there's a spot that doesn't have any grass. So she can't get comfortable to go anywhere. She's got to find that right spot to go. And it's just hilarious because now, as she's gotten older, she's scared to death of a toot if she lets a little toot. So I call her the little torpedo because she takes off, tearing across the room as she toots, you know. Oh, dogs are so funny. They just make me laugh. Oh, I can't help it. They're just little characters.
I was muted.
Oh no.
Who's muted?
Why for?
Yeah, I don't. Well, when I started coughing, I muted myself. I still have some of this congestion in my chest, and it's just got to go away.
It's going around here, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I noticed my
why not?
granddaughter was better today, so I'm hoping that means I'm next.
Yes, you'll be next.
Oh yeah.
You drink it? Can you drink? Do you like lemons? Can you have lemons?
I've been doing that, Heather.
Oh.
It should be helping, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, definitely hot.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I know, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, if I told everybody what my whole work history is, all the different jobs and things that I've done throughout my life, y'all wouldn't believe me because of my age, but I swear it's all true. I hate to have to mention two entirely separate career options that passed that I had the opportunity to take in a matter of in a span of 3 years. And it sounded ridiculous to tell you guys that I was in those career opportunities because every time I try to tell people about that, they're like, what? And I'm like, I'd have to tell you a whole long story to explain it. But yes, literally.
And I understand that because I've done the same thing. When you have kids, it kind of works out that way.
It does. It really
Especially
does.
with my youngest having autism. And then she had some health issues also. So if the school called me that I needed to come, then I was going, whether the boss liked it or not. And so that
makes total sense to you.
Yes. But it was kind of a blessing because driving back and forth to Austin, that's a pretty good drive. And uh, it was just getting really unsafe. And
Yeah.
so then I started working local, and it was all kind of Atlanta 3, Houston 2. Huh.
Wow.
Leave it to Houston.
Yeah. This is ground control to Major Tom.
Right. And that's what somebody will ask me, what was your favorite job? And I'm like, that's really hard to say because,
They were all fun. I
yeah.
got to try a little bit of everything.
Yep.
What an adventure.
Myself, I've had many too, and it was, well, moving from one job to the other in order to be upgrade to a better pay or a better benefit, or a job that went out of business and I had to move on to a different job.
Yep.
And so I've done everything from working in canning factories to a sewing factory to upholstering furniture to film and bag, making bags and running big machines and stuff like that. To working at a casino, bartending, waitressing, worked at a cheese factory, and anything I could possibly do to better myself. And then at one point, I worked at a factory where we made like your hot chocolates and your oatmeal and your stuffing and Kool-Aid and stuff like
Mm.
that. And I worked at a plywood factory at one time too. So,
I worked at a factory once for 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's how long I lasted in a factory. I'm so not a factory worker.
Too monotonous. Yep.
Well, and most of the jobs that I had done, I was usually in a position. Oh, and I worked at a pickle factory too. I worked at Vlasic till Vlasic moved away. And I worked there for not even 2 months and they made me an inspector. And people were like, oh, she must know somebody or be be a special friend of somebody. And I'm like, I don't know anybody. What are you talking about?
I was always like that too. I always made management or like top levels, supervisor positions in every job. I'd start out low and I'd end up somewhere better in no time at all.
Well, at that point, having been an inspector and everything, I ended up after that point, if I was ever offered anything that brought me up to a higher level, I didn't want it because I didn't want people to think that I was a brown noser, because that's the attitude that most of the places I observed, people treated people differently. And I was like, hey, I ain't getting the reputation of being something I'm not.
Right.
But I guess that was partly my own insecurity that I wouldn't allow myself to rise above, you know. I knew
I
that.
guess I was always part of the bad kids club in the sense that I never cared what you thought of me, like outside of in the workplace or whatever. I never cared what people thought of me. I didn't care what reputation they gave me because that was their idea, not mine. And so like I've always kind of been a rebel in that and I've been able to brush off a lot of stuff because of that little bit of rebel in me right there. I think I was born refusing to wear labels. I don't know what that's about, but it's been a theme over my life, like certain sections of my life.
That's so
I wasn't
cool, Heather.
rebelling against anything but the labels. You know what I mean?
You know, that's so cool. I think that I became a total regressed person, or I actually had I went and saw a psychiatrist, and they determined that I'm a very passive aggressive person. But I had put myself through classes and bought a lot of books that brought me to a different mentality in life, that have been like what people call self-help books,
Mm-hmm.
and had to gain some knowledge in order to rise above my insecurities and have a little more respect for myself in holding myself up, and learn to think and
Yeah.
communicate a little differently, because my feelings can be very easily hurt, and I had to learn to actually take what people say in a different context in my mind, of saying, did I ask them for their opinion? No. Do I care
That's
about what
where you
their
gotta
opinion
go.
is? No. Did does your opinion matter to me? Not when it's going to be something that's disrespectful or holds me at a lower light than them. Looking at
Right.
the mentality of the person in which in the way they're addressing me. You know, some people. I won't even go any farther than that, than to say I had to learn a different mentality totally, to not be hurt by things people say.
Oh, I got hurt a lot, but I had there was that part of me, that essential part of me that I mean, when you were a kid, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but almost all my life I've been a misfit, no matter where I've been, um, and I've always been okay with that. I've always known that I was different, didn't know how, didn't know why, and it got to a point where it was just, um, I was just different. I just didn't fit in anywhere, and it was like you're either going to be okay with that feeling, or you're
Yeah.
going to look for a group of people you fit in with. Well, after quite some time of looking and finding all the wrong people, I finally figured out that I had to look within, and because I mean, I've always had that, where you're going to have your opinion of me, and that's your opinion of me. It does hurt your feelings, but you you have to realize that's their opinion. They're entitled to have it. Just like an asshole, everybody's got one, right? That's what my dad used to
Yeah,
say. And
yeah.
it was kind of like that big girls don't cry thing, but not that bad. Like he never said don't cry, don't express your emotions, but he would say, opinions are like assholes and everyone has one. That's what my dad would tell me. Even when I was little, when I get my feelings hurt by my brothers and stuff. Um, and so it kind of, by the time I was a teenager, it became sort of a badge of honor to be a black sheep, you know,
Mhm.
to think differently than all the rest of them. And then I got to thinking, well, um, that'll be my mark in the world. I'll be like, these great artists, Picasso, who made his mark, and Jackson Pollock, who made his mark, and Da Vinci, and all these, because when I was really young, I had dreams of being an artist. And then I got those dreams shattered and had to find out that wasn't it either, right? I think that we go through all those things, though, really just to make us stronger and to see the value in the lesson, because all those lessons teach us about is well, first you learn how big of a capacity you have to love, because you didn't turn that switch off. You still love people, you know you still give love freely to people. So that's a strength that nobody can break. And the second thing you learn is that your answers lay within. Um, they're not outside you in some other group, right? Groups are nice, but the answers aren't out there. Nobody can give you your answers because they're not asking your questions.
that, you know, as a kid, it seemed like my grandparents and my dad were all for me, but both my mother and my stepmother were the ones that pretty much gave me the most insecure feelings about myself and were the most critical in some of the psychological damage that they had done to me that I had to work my way past, because there was always the portrayal of what a rotten kid I was. I needed to behave differently. I needed to think differently. I needed to dress differently. I needed to do this. I needed to do that. Things that were not in my interest, that I was supposed to be something that I wasn't. And my dad seemed to be one of the only people, and my grandparents, that ever showed me any approval as far as giving me a hug, giving me love. And it throughout my life, I struggled with trying to find acceptance, and a lot of times acceptance I didn't uh any little bit of positivity and getting
Can
a
I give you
positive
can I give you some
attention
homework?
really I ended up screwing myself up so bad, looking just a second, looking for that positive input. And at least when I got to the point of having my own kids, I was able to put that input of giving them that positive input. Wow, you really did a good job with that artwork, or I'm so proud of you, and uplift their spirits and give them some encouragement to do the things they were interested in, and give them some praise, because when I didn't have that as a kid, that's what I needed. I was
Yep.
one of those souls that needed that,
Right.
you
Did
know.
you
Can
have
I
So
the same
can I
mother?
go ahead.
well, my mom was very like that too. She was
Yep.
she tried to do better than her mother did, but she would tell. I grew up learning knowing about how bad her mother hated her, and then I would hear I never wanted a daughter. You know, that kind of affects the kid.
Oh,
So I
most
get it.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I totally do. But I'm going to give you an exercise that helped me tremendously, and I'm not going to lie to you. I had to do it a lot more than once.
Cool.
But it was a meditation, a guided meditation that I read, and I don't think you have to have the guided meditation. I think you can just use the general idea, because intent is what's going to help you. So
Cool.
you go,
I'm up for it.
sit real quiet and sit real still, do some deep breathing, and get into your own head, get into your own mind and your own heart, and meet your child self. Meet that little girl. And I want you to tell that little girl all the things that little girl needed to know. Do that and love your inner child, because that part still hurts. And if you heal that part, you will feel more whole.
Yep.
You
I
know what?
promise.
I realize you're right, and you're bringing me to tears because I haven't taken that step. Thank you.
Well, we're hugging that little girl
Thank you.
Absolutely.
because I had to do that. You just, I understand what Heather's saying. I had to do the
Yeah.
same thing. What Joseph said about the Patriots, did y'all read that?
Yeah.
I gotta look.
Oh, awesome. Well, hold on. I'm on
Holy
mute for
cow.
a second.
I hope that they do it all over down there and all over.
Well, I'm most positive they wouldn't get away with it in California.
It's awesome.
But
I know when I used to
Texas, I think, would be open to it.
when
Do
I
what?
used to bartend, if they didn't have their green cards or their appropriate identification coming in the bars, even if they looked old enough, I was like, out of here. Nope. Oh,
Yeah. Well, I was
Sorry, I
after
thought
the
we were
bubble
muted.
tea.
a little bit quiet because I didn't hear you.
I'll hear
All right, we're here.
news, but did you hear about the 45,000 kids?
Oh, you said you read that, or you saw it.
Did I already
Yeah.
say I saw that yesterday?
45,000 kids. Where?
I thought I just saw that today.
But where at? Like on the border
You're
or?
gonna have to share a little bit
planes,
more
or-
info with me because I don't know
45,000 kids missing
Wow.
from where.
from the border.
Oh, why doesn't that surprise me?
It disappeared
Let's
overnight.
wait till the orphan trains show up again.
And
See, this is interesting.
yeah,
What was it? I was watching an interview with Lee Dundas,
Sorry.
and she said, "These people can't even see what's going on. We are on the bullet train to Auschwitz again." And I was like, "Whoa,
Wow,
what
boy.
a powerful statement!"
what?
Who said
The
that?
bullet train to Auschwitz.
Auschwitz. What's that?
Auschwitz.
Auschwitz, yeah.
Concentration camp.
Pay attention.
Concentration camps, yeah.
Exactly.
Hey,
Pay attention.
That's
I
Lee
wanna-
Dundas.
I want to say something though, because she's got something going on that she's organizing all over the world. Do you mind if I mention it?
Who's that? That lady?
It's called Strike for Freedom.
Oh.
It's November 8th through the 11th, and they want all blue collar workers
It's a 4-day.
strike for
Strike.
4 days because they keep
It will.
keep thinking they can hang this crashing economy over our heads, but we are truly the ones, even with the power over the money and making things run and not run. So all we have to do by
Not
that
work,
reasoning,
not go anywhere.
is
Don't buy anything.
every blue collar
4
worker
days straight.
stop doing their bidding for 4 days and shut them down with their own means.
What do you think?
That means no buying gas, no none of it. That will
None of it.
come down too.
Yes, Pappy, you did an excellent video about time travel.
I
I actually saw that one.
didn't get a notification. What the heck?
I'm gonna
It's an
have to
old
see
one.
It's an old one. You have to go into his videos.
I've been
Oh,
I've
Yeah,
been
go check
sucking
them
up
out, man. They're pretty
Pappy's
good.
videos a little at a time so that I can marinate on them because they're very
Oh, I gotta get caught up.
helpful.
Informative,
They're very helpful. They're very soulful.
very wise.
Whoa. There's all kinds of stars outside tonight, you guys. I got clear skies. I gotta watch for aurora borealis.
What? Keep taking it off.
Well, I tell you what I know for certain is that the darn
Cup of coffee
signal
photo.
today has been tragic. What's that?
Except for Bonnie's show.
Well, for like the whole last week, it's been terrible
since Tuesday.
since
That's
Tuesday.
because there's good vibes in here.
Is that what it is? Well, even on our show, we've been having trouble with the signal. And then at night when we're trying to mod, we can't. Nobody sees us. Our chat keeps getting disconnected multiple times. It doesn't make any sense. And it's nobody can see us when we chat.
But yet when we're on GG's or yours or
But I can come in
anywhere
here and
else,
talk to you
we have a
guys.
little
I
bit of
can
a
chat in
problem, but
yours.
we have no issues.
So I don't
No
know.
one's get kicked off of
Um,
ours.
And then, well, like you guys are all froze and chat freezes up for us. But
We know that's the computer.
until you tell us we're robotic and you can still hear us, then we don't, we try to just leave it because we know it's going to do that.
Yeah.
But I think part of it might be,
Good and
who
clear.
was it? Who was it that was asking about the solar flare, the X-class solar flare? I found
I
out
was.
some stuff about that. Okay, I did a little bit, a tiny bit of research on that for you because I couldn't remember who asked it, but I was like, that's really important, and we should maybe be considering that as part of our interruptions, right?
I was asking about it too, and I saw Alan mention something about it.
Well, we
Well,
were just
X,
on it.
X class,
A thing. Oh, go ahead.
X class is like it goes from a scale of 1 to 9, X1 through 9. 9 being like worldwide wipeout EMP type, right? So X1, you kind of have a little bit of an idea of that being kind of like it goes from a tropical depression to a tropical, or from a tropical storm to a tropical depression to a hurricane to a,
A
cyclone.
magnitude of the hurricane.
Right.
Hi,
And then each
Peppy.
one of those classifications has its own level. So it's kind of like that system. X is like tropical depression.
Good night, Peppy.
Oh, good night, Pappy.
Happy,
Into
love
bed.
you.
Love you, Pappy. Love and light.
Night, Pappy.
Okay, I understand. Then it's got the different levels.
So a flare is when like
Corona
when it
discharge.
goes, but so isn't the sun like, doesn't it have like, I don't know, I think of it like arms, and or does anything fly off of the sun? Am I imagining things?
It's like explosions, burst.
That's up for debate.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's up for debate, seriously.
The wave that we get of the solar
It's strange, man.
frequency wave. We get that.
Be right back.
Well, I thought
Bonnie-
that would be the solar
You're gonna have to
flare.
come up and explain it. Jeff can explain it a little bit better than I can. Well, a lot better than I can.
Well, you have to think. Okay, when you see a radar and you see the way the bubble goes out, and then you see like you see in old movies that ding, and it would let you know that something was out there,
Sonar.
like a sonar.
Yes.
You understand what I mean? That wave. Okay. Well, that's kind of like what's coming off the sun. It's a wave, but it's a frequency wave.
Oh, like the tuning forks.
Okay. Yeah. Like kind of like that. It's the waves. Now, if you're worried about debris, yes, it does come off. But by the time the trajectory would miss the Earth, or it would be burned up before, an awful big chunk would have to come off to do anything that's majorly damaging. But what's
I'm
happening
not
with
worried
the solar,
about
the solar flare itself, it's not, like I said, it's an energy wave. It's not something that you can
it's a
see.
wave. It's more than one. It's
it's just like the ocean in waves.
It's not the first flare you have to worry about. It's the waves that come after.
Mm.
And it's not always to worry about, but some of them can get high enough that it's just it messes with the internet, or it messes with, like radios, like
Ham radio signals.
And it's just the signal part, not the operations
FM
part,
frequencies.
but just the frequencies. So like when planes are flying, their meters might go wacky. They might get some like interference in the hearing and whatnot. But
it would affect the internet, I think.
So don't go flying anywhere right now.
Oh yeah.
Well, it doesn't mess with anything like where you're going to drop out of the sky or anything. But it just I don't know how to. Like, you can still use the radios. You can still use and do things. It's just you'd hear static, a little more extra static.
Like a jammer.
And like the internet like we're having now, you get a little more digitized when we don't have a good signal. But it might not be just our signal. It might be partially from the flare that's coming from. They already said that the second one, the second one's supposed to hit us today around noon, and that was just a rough estimate from the one guy. And he says it's not going to do anything. He goes, the only thing it's going to do is it's going to make it a little bit harder for people to connect. He goes, you're going to see some websites probably down. He goes, but they're going to be pop right back up within a few minutes. He goes, it's a disruption. It's not anything major. It's
Catastrophic.
it's not damaging or anything. It's just it disrupts the frequency waves.
Okay. Joseph, I don't understand that first one. Democratic state lawmaker fined for disgraceful behavior during surgery. I accept the board's decision that I could have done better.
Did you guys see the Australian dude that called up the courts and literally schooled them on being a sovereign being and not on their role? It's like 4.5 minutes.
No, if he's saying maybe something about surgery, he may have been under with. Of course, they're going to put him under with drugs, to do surgery. He could have blurted something out. He could have blurted something out, and a reporter was standing there. and completely just inserted foot in mouth.
Anesthesia, la la
yeah,
la.
anesthesia, yeah. Isn't that great stuff? The truth talker or the truth maker.
Happy unbirthday!
That's funny. Because I did the same thing when my teeth came out. I had to go back to the dentist and apologize to him. I guess I called him every swear word in the book when I was walking out.
The last time I
was me at the hospital with my first son.
The last time I had anesthesia, it was horrible. I mean, as soon as I woke up and I was throwing that white thing off my finger and I was cussing everybody and for 8 hours. And then I popped out of it and I called all those nurses back in there and I was like, that was not me. I am so sorry. And they said, we know that. We've seen you 2 days before.
When I went into labor with my oldest son, I had just turned 18 and I was having him naturally, and they tried to give me pain medicine after I was already like well into labor, and all it did, I cussed those doctors up and down. They said they could hear me outside the double doors of the maternity ward. I got told afterwards they were so happy I was the only baby, that my son was the only baby that got delivered that night. I mean, it was just like, I was terrible, I guess. But those were also the days when I just talked that way too. So
No,
I'm
I
pretty
think it's
sure
the drugs.
I had total sailor mouth during labor. That pain was so great. I tried to bite my boyfriend's hand off.
Yeah, my first one, they doped me up and it turned me into a horrible person. And the doctors all telling my husband, you need to calm her down. I grabbed my husband by his collar and I said,
calm me down.
do you want to be calm?
You want some? Oh my goodness.
So from then on, it was natural. All the other 5, no more drugs.
They tried to give me pain meds, but I was too far in labor and it didn't work at all. It just made me nuts.
I did natural childbirth with both of my kids, and I didn't have anything. My second child, when I had him, I was in a major hospital, and the lady down the hall was having her 13th child, and she was cussing and swearing and telling him, I'm going to cut that thing off if you ever come near me again, and stuff like that. They closed my door so I wouldn't hear her. And the doctors sat there and told me over and over again, "You are the nicest person we have had give childbirth. You are the sweetest person we have ever had here." I'm like, I was starting to feel for him, man. I was, I was hearing crashes and beats, and then she was whipping stuff, and oh my goodness.
Yep.
That wasn't my daughter, was it?
I don't know. Does she have any in Green Bay?
Actually, yeah, probably. 13, 14 of them. I don't remember. I lost track.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One of them, there was this lady, and all I kept hearing was, ay, 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 ay. And so whenever she delivered, I asked the nurse, I said, is she okay? And she said, yes, she had a 14-pound baby girl.
Oh my gosh! Ay 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 ay.
Mhm.
That's what my roommate had, and she gave birth to her on the same day that Mount St. Helens erupted, and she goes,
Oh my
when
gosh!
Helen erupted, so did I.
Did you never
See?
get
That's how connected we are, right? To the earth.
Well, they always say they're born on a full moon. I never paid attention.
I didn't
I
either.
never follow it that close.
Yeah, me either. Honestly, who knew what cycle the moon was in on the day they were born without having to go backwards and look at that?
Yeah.
Right? Last thing on our
Wow.
mind.
Right.
You're worried about his mouth. Where's my pillow? Dang it! Give me your hand.
I was a preemie and I was a cuss.
Wow.
I was gonna say, who cares about the full moon? You're here with me.
I was almost a month late. My mom's due date with me was November 19th. And she had me December 11th. So there was that.
December 11th, my daughter's birthday is January 11th.
My oldest son is January 31st.
When? January?
Wow.
You were
Joseph,
born.
I
You were,
did see that.
you were born what? 4 days after my grandson. The grandson who made me a great grandpa twice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's what December 7th. That's Pearl Harbor Day, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's when I became a grandpa. And then, then this many years later, he makes me a great grandpa.
I even heard Pearl Harbor was a setup thing.
It all was, dear. Everything.
Every war.
Was.
Every war was. Yep.
I can't remember the. I don't remember. Well, see, the Japanese did that because the presidents and the administration at the time were messing with the people who supplied Japan with some of the supplies or whatever, right?
Yeah, because Japan always had a labor force, not supplies. So they would trade workforce for supplies.
And they were messing with they're messing in their business is what intentionally, and they couldn't do it. They had to fight, It's like what we, history repeats itself.
So you think the Civil War was staged too?
Say what?
Yeah, it was to destroy evidence of the last reset.
The Civil War?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. More ways to divide, because
think
about it. If you've got a running story about division, what does it keep up?
Yeah.
Division.
Bonnie, remember? Oh, we're fighting for women's rights and yeah. What a plan! How devious of a plan is that? Let's make this women's movement, And then instead of having one taxable income per household, we can possibly get two. And look
Yes.
how it is today. You see?
They're the ones that paid for the movement too. They
Yep,
paid for both sides of every war.
the Beatles were a movement. Um,
Distractions, all of them.
yep, and you know
Look at what else was going on around those time periods, and you'll know it was distractions.
see, I did some
Women's
studies.
lib was very destructive.
I did
I-
some. You ready for this one? I did some social. What do you call it? Social. Just a social conscience, right, on how it works. The first, you tell me this. I'll ask the question. This is how it was presented to me. Who was the first dominating woman on national TV? Just think about it. Which woman was the most dominant figure on TV at the time for her domination? Think about it.
Lucille Ball.
You're
Nope.
talking about the exercise lady Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay.
First
You mean-
dominating woman. This will blow your mind. The first domination woman showing domination on national TV was
Come on.
Lassie. Remember the boy? Remember the June Lockhart? She drove the pickup truck. She did a man's thing. She ran her little ranch or whatever.
Mm.
No kidding.
Wow.
Women don't drive trucks back then. Women did not do that.
My
That was-
granny did.
That was just before the movement. See? It kind
And
of
some star, some well-known diva, just happened to pop up with women's strength. And that was also they could get the women involved in making the ammo for the men for World War II.
Yep.
They were already planning that stuff back then.
And the Beatles were their plan too that they paid for.
Yeah.
That was like a plant.
Yep.
They planted it in here just to make the whatever that up. I can't think of a word for it.
Did you happen to watch the one where it shows the person that writes most of the music for all those bands?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I haven't watched that, but I know what you're talking about exactly because I've seen that corresponding tradition with today's music. I'm air quoting. You can't see me, but I'm air quoting today's music, and this has been going on since probably the 50s, maybe before that even.
Oh man.
Yeah. And the thing that it boils down to is I think that this stuff has happened before. And they're just repeating the strategy and maybe making some adjustments.
We got this time. We're gonna win this time.
I think
Of
so.
that, I am fully I think that's an absolute positive that is already happening, and nothing's going to stop it from happening.
Yeah. Oh,
And I know we may have to go through some crappy stuff to get there, but the ending is beautiful. I promise it is. You awesome. Thanks, babe.
I gotta get some Liz, my little chihuahua here. They need a little extra attention.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I'm around to see it. The ending.
You will be. You will be. Or at least some personal closure. I just have a feeling. I mean that. No, I still have absolutely that it's all good. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's that feeling you get, that knowing that you have inside. That's why I'm really not scared of any of this stuff. But
Me
at
either.
the same time, I don't feed that stuff to my spirit either anymore. I just stopped listening to all that surface stuff because I know it's not what really matters right now.
You said the right thing though. I don't feel it, and I would feel it.
What? Something bad?
Yeah.
What? Wisconsin got decertification?
Sweet. See, things are happening.
Yeah. People
Things
don't know.
are happening
They know, man.
all over the world. All over the
They
world,
know.
things are happening. But we're not to the.
So
I don't think we're to the gut punch just yet.
what was the big game tonight? Because I heard a lot of
Series.
college.
World Series was going tonight too, wasn't it?
Oh, no.
I don't know. What would Mr. T go to?
Everybody's done with this stuff, boy.
I don't know if that one is. There it is.
If that happens all across the stadiums, across the country, that's more than 80%, whatever they're looking for.
World
We're well
Series.
above what I think. We're already there. I think stuff's already going down, and I think it's going to be really soon that it's going to get released. Piggybacking this solar flare somehow.
Joseph.
Somehow the solar flare is important because they've been amping us up for it for months.
Yep.
Did you guys see that joke that Joseph put in there?
I
Well,
can't see the chat. It's not
Says looks
scrolling
like
for us.
Biden has an accident when he went to see the Pope. Should have had his depends on.
So, I wonder if that game, if they were chanting the chant.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Were they chanting the chant, Joseph?
Bingo, he said. Bingo. Are we all having a brain fart or am I frozen again?
That was the Atlanta
No, you're
Houston
fine.
game that he was talking about.
Just playing games at the same time.
I don't know.
I saw somebody in chat over there on Liberty go saying, "Let's go, Gavin," and I was like, "Oh, good. Let's keep that up. Let's go to Swine."
No, but there were lefts. Let's go, Brandon Banners. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I heard that you can get in trouble for saying that now. Well, and I was thinking,
Gestapo.
how are they going to do anything to a whole stadium full of people? There's no way.
Hawk said that there was some hamburger chain or some food chain or something that has a drive-through, and their cups say that on the bottom of the cup. So when you lift up your cup to drink out of it,
Oh, that's fantastic.
and he said that the drive-through, the whole thing, there was just a line of cars, constant wanting to go in there to get those cups.
That's one way to make business.
I would do that. Heck,
I'd
be in that
support that
line.
business.
Oh, heck yeah.
Somebody in chat said they saw a shirt that just said FJB. Like,
Well, I know those flags are pretty popular.
mm-hmm. You know, and that's the thing. When he goes home, I guess what he calls home, where he's building the wall over there too.
Yeah.
Imagine how humiliating that has to be to go from the airport to that house with those lines of people with their backs turned to him, their finger up in the air and holding those signs.
Well, I'll say this. It may be a mercy that his cognitive acuity has declined. It may be a mercy. Whether he deserves such a mercy or not is not my call. I think he's a bad dude, but it's not. I can't sit in judgment of him, except because I haven't seen the evidence presented, except for the sniffers. Although I believe he's heinous. I think he is a heinous man, and I don't think that just because he forgot, that should clear him of his sins.
Anything. No.
No, he has done enough deeds.
That
I
could
just
all
wanted to
be
clarify
an act.
that.
That
Yeah.
could be an act.
That dude
Exactly.
creeps me out, man. I'll tell you, that creeps me. That dude creeps me out.
Well, I
And-
did see some things put out today that showed two of the Air Force One and Air Force Two going to the White House today, but guess who's not in the country? You know,
Yeah, that's right. He's at
food for thought.
he's in Glasgow, isn't he? How does he get to go to Scotland and I don't? Seriously.
Yeah.
I wanna go see Scotland.
People that are coming into our country that aren't citizens of our country get enough money to make those kind of trips themselves?
Yeah. Yeah. And now
I
want
mean,
to
I
pay.
need a car. I got a car sitting out here with 4 flat tires and needing a lot of work that I can't afford to have done on it. So I let the license go on it and I'm letting it sit there with those flat tires, but I'm going to call someone to get it out of here because I can't afford to fix it. The engine runs, but it's got so many little things that need to be done other than that in the car. Not to get into all the details, I might as well get rid of it for the amount of money if we're going back to 1950s prices, right?
Right?
Just
See,
you know, that's not what I'm really thinking, but it's I
Yeah,
was
we get it.
thinking,
We're smart asses too.
You need a friend like me, except local.
and I have a car that runs perfect, except it needs a new motor. I mean, everything else is perfect on it except for the motor.
well, it just got 100,000 miles on it. It's a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT,
Wow,
and
that's
um.
low.
I
The
just sold
tires
What kind of
were
engine you
leaking
got in
air
that?
when I parked it there, but the sunroof doesn't work on it. One of the back windows, I have to tape it shut. I stuck a board in there to keep it up from falling all the way down. I already fixed and replaced the driver's side window. I had somebody that tried to break into it, and they did a good job. They screwed up the top, the sunroof. So that doesn't work anymore. But I finally got it down so it's sealed,
Uh,
and then fixed
What engine do
the
you have in
windows.
it?
Huh?
What engine do you have in it?
I used to
Oh
know.
man, I don't know, but I'll tell you what, that sucker can go.
Yup.
Because
Well, what
I
I'm thinking is advertise it as the engine for sale, but you got to take the whole car with it. You'll get more money selling it that way.
that's
Yes.
a good idea.
Especially with that miles on it.
That's
Yeah,
a good idea.
exactly. Because I'm going to bet that car's got a pretty slick engine in it.
Oh boy, I'll tell you, that sucker goes. I tested it in less than a quarter mile. I was already over 140 miles an hour in that darn thing, and I went, yeah, that's an
Oh,
Anacar.
some kid will buy that up to fix it up.
Yeah.
Joseph, you must be young. I watched this poor man. He got into I think it was a Viper, something, it's one of those on the ground cars. And so he was getting out of it and he couldn't. And he ended up leaning over and landing on his hands on the cement and crawling out of the car. And I
That'd be
told
me.
the girls, I said, "This is me right here."
That'd be
It
me
seems like me, yeah, too.
Because I cannot get out of those little cars. And I love a Corvette. I've always wanted one, but not now. Nope.
No, they're not easy to get out of.
I can't get out of a car, period. I have to have a SUV up where I can turn backwards and my butt just goes on the seat.
She uses the safe down the sliding down the stairs method. When Raina first started crawling around, and she kept wanting to climb the stairs, and you know how kids are with stairs. Inevitably, they're gonna get up them stairs and fall down them stairs, right?
Yep.
So the second she started being attracted to those stairs, I started showing her how to turn around, sit down, and scoot, and slide down the stairs, and I never
Yep.
had a problem with it
That's funny
because I
because
taught
no,
her.
I did
I
it.
mean, I'd rather her do that than risk her tumbling. You know what I mean?
We were
Just
gonna
like
make. Yeah.
I would, when I was little, my mom would take pictures of me because I would come down the stairs like an alligator, arms first.
Oh my goodness.
I did. I'd come down on my belly.
We were gonna do a video. My dad took my kids to SeaWorld. Well, he took all of us to SeaWorld. We got to see dadgummit, that saxophone player. I can't remember his name. Is there a Kenny G saxophone player?
yeah,
Yeah.
clarinet. Kenny G was clarinet, wasn't
I don't know, but uh, so the kids come home with this flippin' life-size blow-up whale. I mean, they wouldn't even let us put it in the city pool. It was so big. It wasn't life-size, but it was big. And so when I lived in the 3-story house, we had stairs, and uh, the kids would slide down the stairs on a piece of
Oh my
cardboard.
gosh, we did that.
And so then one of my husband's friends that was renting the top story, he got the idea to get that blow up whale and go down the stairs on it. And at the end of the stairs, there was a window. And I said, we can create a funniest home video where you come down the stairs on that and then you got to fly out the window. And so I was going to open the window and pull the screen
Whoa.
off and make him do that.
Where are you seeing all this,
But we
Joseph?
never did.
Now what is
Probably
Joseph got
safer.
going?
Does
Holy
not
cow.
exist.
What happened?
So what is
You know, I
everybody
can't see
dying of?
What's going on?
the
Hold
flu,
on.
the weaponized
Just
flu.
saw this posted. Breaking news: Spanish High Court confirms that COVID-19. Okay, we knew that. It's the biggest crimes
Where'd
against
you see
humanity
this, Joseph?
in history.
Several countries and several places have already sued their countries' governments
Months
to for about these mandates and made them have to bring forth evidence that this virus even exists, that it wasn't man-made, and nobody
I'm
can do it.
sorry,
It's
but
been confirmed in a couple courts now.
well
It's a
then
flu
every
virus.
person
It was
in the United
weaponized.
States needs to sue, and
Yep.
they need to
Indiana
compensate
already
a whole
has.
bunch of people
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. No.
because that's a lot of people that went broke, a lot of businesses
Yes,
gone.
ma'am. A lot of people hurting.
Look how frazzled we are.
Oh my goodness. That'd be great if it all comes out and works out that way.
I think that
That's
might
awesome,
be where we're
Joseph.
headed.
Cool.
Telegram. Yep.
They're trying to tell a person who wore a mask in his teenage years for dust that it never worked, to wear one to this day to stop a
Yeah.
virus. You think I am that stupid?
See, I don't
Really?
I
know.
think we're all that stupid.
They
They
think
do.
you're that
They do.
stupid.
Yeah.
Always.
That's how they,
I'm sorry, Rob.
This is the same technique and the same crap they pulled on our great grandparents to start this fucking Social Security bullshit. The
Yep.
same
Yep.
thing. Same
And the bond?
shit.
And the bonds that were worthless, it's the same. Yep.
Yep, it's trippy as hell.
Yes, we had bonds from cord and couldn't do nothing with them.
The TV's got to go. Them people are gonna pay. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm going after them some bitches. I can't even watch these TVs. So somebody owes me some money because y'all ain't putting nothing on there I can handle.
Television.
That's right.
That's
We
how
know
Rex
this,
said it.
brother. You make my television worthless, you owe me money. You broke it.
Yep.
um,
I ain't happy with them people.
always here, whenever somebody would go into the doctor's office, if they came out wearing a mask, we knew that they had the flu. And they would put the mask on them so that whenever they coughed or sneezed, it wouldn't spray to us.
That's because they had the good sense to teach us back then the difference between viruses and bacteria. We were taught that in school, so we have some common sense about it.
Yeah. But they quit teaching it, see?
They did that on purpose, just like they quit teaching cursive for a very important reason too. So that we have an entire generation of people who cannot read cursive. They can't read their own Constitution or Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
They got to wait for somebody to translate it for them. We all know what happens with translations.
Just if that kind of contradicts that doesn't exist, doesn't it?
What's that?
Japan drops back, roll out, goes to Ivor, ends
It's not that it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in the
almost
capacity
overnight.
they are claiming it exists.
Right. See what
They're
it
claiming it
actually
is a naturally occurring deadly virus.
And it's not.
It is a man-made bioweapon.
And they
And
Yeah.
you can't prove one without proving the other.
and they won't admit so.
And so that they have
We'll get back out of
manipulated a
this.
strain of the flu.
It's not working for them.
I'd hate to be Dr. Kevorkian about now.
they mixed
He'd be
it with
sweating.
a non-zoomorphic virus.
Well, one explained to me that it is the flu, but they added a spike protein,
Oh,
and that is what makes it what it is.
Altered.
But the Corona, like the beer part of it, is
Cervezos demons.
non-zoomorphic, and that's what we vaccinate. That's what we treat our dogs for, and they mix that with it.
I don't know. I mean,
Guess what I
know-
heard today? I heard that the Ivan is actually not just used in treating all these different things, but also used in successfully curing cancer. That was just hearsay,
I've heard that
but worth
for years.
looking into.
I've heard that before too.
Yeah, I've heard that for years.
Yeah.
You know, you can get that stuff online for $5 a tube, right?
Okay, you all ready for this?
Sure.
Come to the big one.
Do, 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 do.
What's
What-
the big one?
We're ready.
What do you got, Sports Joseph? Hold on, let me take a hit.
Give it to us. We can handle it.
Let me take a hit.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Fast puff.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I got
he's
some
singing.
stuff tonight.
What's the big one? Somebody's got to read it to me.
I'm waiting.
He's probably still typing then.
He
Hey, Joe.
will
Cheer
be
us up,
making
Joseph.
an announcement in the East Room at the White House at 9:30 a.m.
Say what now?
He will be making an announcement from the East Room at the White House at 9:30 a.m.
He as in 45?
Then he and Melania will head to Andrews Air Force Base.
On what date is this?
QFS will be put
Oh.
into place somewhere
Sorry.
between the 3rd and the 11th. All things will fall into place, including EBS. On the 11th,
Starts on the 3rd.
things will be completed. Christmas in November. You can watch video for more details regarding loans, leases, etc.
Hey. Yep.
Go up one bond. Oh, oops.
Everything you talked about in 17, Robert, it's all coming to a head now.
You can start listening from the 11 o'clock minute mark. Summary: Biden's schedule ends November 3rd. President Trump's begins on November 3rd.
Oh wow.
So they're
I
not
still
even
miss
allowed
the
to have.
first
Hey
part.
Joe, that's some great info.
Biden's schedule ends November 3rd. President Trump.
What else did I miss?
No, keep going,
hope-
keep reading.
I think you got it.
No, just the top one.
Okay, I got that.
Oh, okay.
Start listening from the 11th mark.
Well, let's hope so, and let's hope it's for the right reasons.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome if that's true.
Well, but for the right reasons, because my thing is people
Keeping
can't
fingers
be
crossed.
complacent anymore, and I don't
No matter
know.
who's up there. Yes. I
Exactly,
agree.
no matter who's up there, exactly, because they're all just human beings like us.
Yes, and because of what has been allowed, yeah,
We
I
must.
just don't trust
You
any
need
of them.
to. Yeah, exactly, and it's not nothing bad against anybody personally. It's just the whole
No.
system has been corrupted. The entire
Yes.
system. And now that you're awake, why would you go back to sleep? And I think some people will want to, you know?
Because it's like, okay, for this last year and a half, all these riots, fires, the destruction of the cities, and
Little kids
nothing
get
was
shot
done.
and stuff. All that bullshit.
Yes, and nothing was done. And then half the police department is gone, and half the medical workers are gone, and nobody trusts going to the doctor or hospital anymore. And I mean, it's the total destruction. So there's no way we can just jump back into normal. No way.
Joseph.
Yeah.
No, it's going to take a lot of elbow grease and hard work, for sure, for
Yeah.
this country to even consider being back on any kind of track, honestly.
And how long is it going to take to build back the trust, though?
Exactly.
That's going to take a while.
The trust, I don't think the trust should be given so easily.
Nope.
I think you better show me the people's power before I even think about trusting you.
And get rid of that
Anything.
Get rid of that Patriot Act bullshit.
Well, I was fixing to say they shouldn't even have the power. We have the power. We, the people.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. And I'm worried people will become complacent again very quickly and very easily. That's
I don't
not
know. I think that maybe
suspicious of everyone now.
You listen to my shit, you better have a warrant, man. Period. I'm
Right?
coming for you. That's the way it was, remember?
Yeah.
Well,
You better have my permission, or you better have a warrant.
even with a warrant, if you feel you haven't done anything, I'm sorry, but no,
Right.
that's not happening either.
Right.
Because
Get-
look at
You
our
get a
whole
warrant.
judicial system is all messed up
Right.
too.
Yeah, exactly. I took my son
All of
over.
it. It's a system. That's what's wrong with it.
Yeah,
It's a
but
game.
I couldn't explain it to my son. I go, just watch. It's everywhere, dude. And then he calls me and says, "I see it. I see it. I finally see it. It's everywhere." I go, "You're knee deep in it. And you don't even know it. It's
Yep.
everywhere."
Thank you,
Yep.
Joseph. Good night.
Thanks,
God bless
Joseph.
you.
Have a
too.
great
Good one,
night.
Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph. Good night.
Wow.
Wow, that was some
That was
boom,
some,
man.
yeah, some pretty good drops there, huh? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One can only hope.
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
I
am I
used to be
getting,
the one that would jump on a open new tab, open 5 new tabs, and hop right on that and start verifying it. And I'm just not there anymore though. Because I realize it's part of the surface stuff. It's so much deeper for me at this point. You know, the
do
whole
I need
thing. It can't have just been about the surface stuff. All of this,
Right.
right?
should I make this video private too? I made the one last night private because of some of the stuff we were discussing, and I was like, but I see all these other channels talking about whatever they want to, so
That's your choice, hon.
Yep. You haven't got any.
yeah, I don't think I've done anything
No.
so bad except for talk about the truth.
Life is life. Yeah, well, you know they don't like that, but
Yeah, no.
it's your
Be safe,
choice.
be safe, Joseph. Pennsylvania, they got to do that too, huh? Decertify.
Georgia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
think
don't know
Georgia's the big one.
if they would shut you off from anything that we said, but sometimes better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's weird about Racine? I don't know if you guys know this, but Racine's used to be a giant headquarters for J&J.
Ah,
Yeah.
What is that?
Racine, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Oh,
There's so many tunnels between Chicago and down there. It ain't freaking funny.
really?
Yeah.
Place, man.
All the bootlegging and all the old villains, you know, the John Dillinger and all of them, you know,
The
all
Shiner.
that crime stuff that went on between Chicago and then where was that big shootout in Wisconsin with John Dillinger up north? I have been there and I can't even think of where it's at. And then you got the stuff, all the funky stuff when you look at history as to over by north of the Dells, I think it is where Baraboo is.
Mm-hmm.
No, Baraboo's up over by frickin' the house on the rock. I bought my tents.
Okay, so that's down a little farther. Yeah, Milwaukee and all them areas. There's so much. Oh man, I'll tell you what. I went down to House on the Rock. I went to Baraboo as a kid to see the circus museum.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the worst vibes in those places as a
Yep.
kid. Those feelings of unholy ground basically
Wow.
gave me the creeps.
See, I can't imagine anyone wanting to live in Chicago because that's been the city of the mobs and everything forever. And
yeah.
one of my friends on Facebook, she is a cop in Chicago. And
Wow.
yeah, and she's Latino, and she just, man, she throws it out there though on Facebook. She'll just, this is what happened, this is what happened, and she posts every time an officer is killed. She posts it, and it's daily. She'll
Yeah,
post the numbers of people killed over a weekend, and it's just an unreal amount. It and it's every weekend.
I used to drive my father-in-law when I was married to my ex to Milwaukee to the Veterans Hospital down there, and I'd go outside to have a cigarette and go back in because he'd be in there, almost all day, and I'd drive him back because his family.
Right.
Well, I won't get into the negativities of why his family wouldn't do it, but
Yeah.
anyhow, I go inside, and here I have been standing right out in front of there. I could see the buses and cop cars and ambulances driving up out in front of there, and go inside and watch a Chicago station on TV in the waiting room talking about what had taken place. I was standing out there when there had been a shooting at a bus stop. And then when I stayed in Green Bay for a while, I stayed at a woman's shelter. When my ex-husband had gotten violent with me, I went to a women's shelter for a while, and right outside the women's shelter, shootings, gangs, things like that, right in Green Bay. And that was in at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. And I'm like, I don't want this city life, man. So then I went and I spent some time up by my brother up in Superior, Wisconsin for almost a year. And the homeless people that my hometown of Duluth, where I grew up as a kid, I didn't even recognize it. There were homeless people living underneath all the bridges and the overpasses, panhandlers all over the place. I couldn't even go in Superior a block from my brother's to a Quick Trip. It was only like a block and a half away. And there'd be panhandlers at the Quick Trip. And I'm like, wow. That's when things really slapped me in the face, how disconnected I was from reality. That
Yeah.
living out in the country, keeping myself in small town life and out of the cities, that how blind I was to what was really going on. So since then, it's been a gradual wake up to, wow, I want my little country life back. I want to go home.
I never did well in a city. Cities make me sick. There's too much energy that's not good energy.
Well, as a little kid, my brother and I, my birth mom and dad, she wouldn't give him a divorce, but she had handlers. Okay, uh, after she left my dad, so us kids saw a lot of stuff, and a lot of times my mom left us kids. What were we, like, first grade, kindergarten, and first grade? Left us alone with no babysitters for weeks at a time. We ate cat food out of a can in order to eat. When we ran out of that, we started sneaking into our neighbor's basement window and going up and stealing groceries out of their refrigerator. We'd go through their basement window, down onto their washer and dryer, hop down onto the floor, go up and get, like, what we knew how to make. I knew how to make hot dogs. We would eat cold hot dogs. Lunch meat. I knew how to make pudding. um, But here we were, just little kids fighting for ourselves, and a lot of people don't know what that lifestyle is. And then to have people coming around knocking and banging on your windows when you're two little kids, we learned how to hide real, real good.
Yeah.
Hide in plain sight, even,
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I do. I understand that. That's why I keep telling everybody, like, you have so many skills. Just try to remember what you did when you were a kid. Because whether you had a good childhood or a bad childhood, as a child, you understood developing certain skills, right?
yep. A lot of people said you and your brother had such an unusual closeness, or that that everybody around you felt so disconnected from the two of you because you could look at each other or make a gesture with your body language, and you understood, like you both talked your own language. You could talk without speaking, and we could. But I strived as I got older to always want better for my kids.
Yep. But
Jeff,
every generation does.
Jeff, you guys got a fire going?
We got a what going?
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. We lost
Oh,
Bonnie.
you betcha.
Bonnie.
There she is. I was like, who's gone?
I did too. I was
can't
like,
believe
wait.
y'all are still here.
I was like,
I just looked up and I'm like, there's only 3 of us here.
I was like, wait a minute. What's wrong here?
Tatum, when she goes to get her charger, I don't know how she does it, but she unplugs my internet.
Every
And I
time.
was, yes. And I was like, oh, so I'm all texting y'all telling you, sorry, my internet died. Good night. And so then I was like, wait, I wonder if they're still hanging around in there because I saw that happen on Travis's and I want to know. And I came back and here y'all are. Awesome.
Yay!
Yeah, as long as you
Bonnie's
have one. Yeah, as long as you have
first.
one person in, the stream will stay loaded for you.
Okay.
Yay,
Oh, really?
Bonnie!
But
That was
yeah.
a train wreck.
Yeah, there you go.
She has been initiated.
The person would drop off, then does it just shut off?
Yeah, then once the last person drops off, then it'll just shut off within about 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that either.
I'm getting educated.
Well, I think we're going to call it because it is 1:15 here. So
Yeah, I know it is a little late.
Thank you so much for that too,
Oh,
Heather.
hey.
I'm gonna do that.
I love you guys. You know that, right?
Yeah,
All of you.
I know it. I
Love
hope
all of
you
y'all.
guys know I love all of you too.
I so appreciate all these talks, and it keeps me sane. And I'm serious
It keeps
about
all
that
of us
too.
sane. I think it
Yes.
keeps all of us sane that we have each other to talk to, and we know that we can talk pretty freely amongst each other. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I even feel that little bit of a connection, like we might have known each other in the past.
Okay, I'm gonna
I feel
try
like
some.
Probably.
each of you. I
Just-
do.
If I kill it, I don't mean to kill it, but I'm gonna try something real quick because I've been wanting to try this.
All right,
Please
love you.
don't kill it. If I just hit end broadcast, we'll all still be here, right?
Yes,
As
ma'am.
long as you don't close the window.
Yep.
End